Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 136 of the It's a Pictures podcast. My name is John Gilpatrick, and joining me, as always, is...
Your co-host who's still alive, Max Colville.
I thought you were going to say the co-host with the COVID.
Yeah.
COVID host. COVID
yes.
co-host.
Anyway. COVID Colville.
You, COVID Colville.
Yeah.
There, I think you nailed it. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm on the other side of it. I'm starting to feel a little bit better.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. We had our regularly scheduled record time disrupted by a pandemic that struck a little too close to home this time. But glad to see that you're here, I guess, rather, since we're not doing a video call, that you are doing better. You're on the other side, as you say, and you've got this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you do to sort of like pass a lot of the time while you're ill?
It's funny though, because it's like you think like you're just gonna like go into a cellar and like quarantine by yourself and like do things like I've seen other people like have like movie marathons, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't actually know that I had COVID until like the fourth or fifth day I tested positive. So like I was like kind of living life normally, and then like I was like, oh shit, I tested positive, and we just locked down the house of the three of us, me, my wife, and child, and we just that didn't make me go to a separate room. That since my daughter's so young, it's just like, yeah, you need the hands to like help out parenting. So
Yeah, right.
like
Sort of, yeah, like that's more important than hopefully not getting sick when everybody is as protected as they sort of can be from vaccines, and obviously, what sounds like is less severe or less likely to be severe cases of illness. And I think, not to minimize obviously the last week or so for you, but I think a lot of people are probably dealing with similar situations where it's like, once upon a time, I may have quarantined away from my family and everything, but that's not as practical and maybe not as necessary. But I suppose that's a choice everybody's going to have to make. We'll see what happens when the vid finally descends on the Lehigh Valley here in my household. We've been, as lucky as you were for 2 years and 3 months, and
yeah.
somehow outlasted a little bit longer. But glad you're doing better. Glad we were able to make this happen. Although I think our plans for the episode were tossed asunder a little bit too, right?
Yeah, right. And John, I was gonna say I'm in good company because the president has COVID too right now.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I mean, this is a great time. All eyes on BA5 or whatever with our man Joe and our man Max, both contracting at the same time. But yeah, we were gonna do. You were gonna see Jordan Peele's Nope a little early, and maybe we'd get to talk about that, but. I think your screening, at least as far as you were concerned, was off the table. So you haven't seen that movie yet, correct?
Correct.
But maybe we can discuss it briefly on the next episode if one or both of us gets a chance to check it out. Instead, we're going to do something that required a little bit less active prep and kind of tease our fall movie season with a little bit of a preview. Got some news about the fall festivals. Two of the big three, I guess, Venice and Toronto are sort of slow rolling their announcements. We can talk about a little bit about what we know about that and just sort of see where this takes us. But some news, I guess, that we wanted to get to before we start talking fall movies. The Emmy nominations came out, Max. When did the Emmys just like kind of go all in on like there's no number of like nominations that we're allowed to limit our categories to?
I don't know, John. I think it felt like maybe just like a few years ago, but it's like for all both, if you want to say like the two most prestigious categories, like best comedy and best drama.
Yeah.
They nominate 8 shows apiece.
It's like, I mean, I know, like, I mean, admittedly, like, we are, I think, more closely follow the Oscars, and they're up to 10. But it just feels like the whole thing is like very like willy nilly, and like I remember, like, it's like one time I think there was like, it used to be 5. Everything had 5, right? That was always
Yeah.
the rules. We always had 5. I remember one year that something had 6. I think there was a tie. So a statistical tie at least for nominations. So they threw 6 in there. Cool, like no big deal. But it just feels like the last few years, like it's like, oh, like there's like 12 things nominated in this one, but 4 in this one, and like nothing has any consistency. And like I have to be honest with you, like it makes the whole thing seem like more phony than I used to consider it.
Yeah, but John, it's really funny that even of all these nominations in these categories, the amount of television there is these days, it feels like they haven't even scratched the surface. Like maybe they need to like drill it down into like more
Hmm.
defined categories.
Yeah, that's sort of the other thing that like kind of jumps out at you is like you're right. There's like a zillion TV shows, and like a lot of really good ones too. But like the same like handful of shows like have all the Oscar nominations.
All the Emmy nominations, you
Oh,
mean?
sorry, yeah, sorry, Emmy nominations.
Right, like if you're Succession, you pretty much
We
have like
love
20.
Succession, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're not going to find two guys who like Succession, I think, more than us. Um, but it has so many nominations. It's
Yeah, I think it's like
crazy.
25 or something.
They have 14 acting nominations. How is that even possible?
All the guest stars.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to. Like, there's way more people in America than you think that actually have Emmy awards and nominations because they do all the local stuff too. So it's like kind of crazy. But like the big Emmys, the primetime like TV Emmys, it feels like it's more accessible than it should be. But yeah, I've got, yeah, you said eight drama series nominees: Better Call Saul, Euphoria, Ozark, Severance, Squid Game, Stranger Things, Succession, and Yellow Jackets. This is like a pretty good lineup of shows.
Yeah, I've seen maybe half of them. I'd say.
Yeah, me too. But like, I think I know people who really enjoy the other half. They're at least speaking to somebody. But yeah, Succession jumps out here. It's got a zillion nominations. Supporting actress in a drama series has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 nominees. Yeah, and same for supporting actor in a drama series. So some of these have 6, some of these have 8. It's kind of wild. Good, they're just leaning in to just like absolute craziness and insanity.
Yeah, but again, John, it's funny. Like if you're gonna have that many things, like maybe like try to like get a even larger uh swath of like television shows. But it's just like
Yeah.
I think one category, it was like limited series acting, and it was just like White Lotus and this
Oh,
other
I
show
remember seeing.
called like
Yeah.
Dope Sick, and
So
like
yeah, this is a supporting actress in a limited or anthology series or movie. Like, whoa! First of all, mouthful. But there's 5 nominees from White Lotus and 2 nominees from Dope Sick
those are the only two that had
out of
worthwhile
7
acting, I guess.
total nominees. And then
Yeah.
for the same like supporting actor category, they have 3 nominees for White Lotus, 3 nominees for Dope Sick, and then 1 for Pam and Tommy Seth Rogen. So yeah, that's like I guess there's only 3 limited or anthology series or movies
Yeah, that ever
uh
aired on television last year.
that were on TV. So that's all they could do was just pick from those 3. And poor Pam and Tommy only got 1 nomination. Oh my gosh, wild stuff. This is I was just cracking up watching it. It's just like holy shit. But yeah, cool. Okay, Emmy nominations. What are you like most like pleased for? Any one or anything?
Yeah, I remember like when they came out, I was looking for some of the shows that like I covered this season.
Uh-huh.
I've been doing more TV reviews, and I was surprised like something like Winning Time didn't get mentioned at all.
Hmm.
They didn't like that. Uh there was also, I really liked Pachinko, and that only got like best opening credits or something like that nomination.
Yeah.
And one of the other shows I really enjoyed, a limited series, was Station 11. And I guess like one of the actors in that show got
Yeah.
a nomination, and I was pretty happy about that. But there's some things like that you expected. It's like certainly you suspected Succession to like do really well, and I guess it's going to be whether or not they like that as much as they liked Squid Game, because that was such a phenomenon of a show and series, and
Yeah.
groundbreaking in a lot of ways.
Uh, right. Agreed. Severance was, I think, probably, right up there for me with Succession in terms of favorite shows the last year or so. So I was happy it got a lot of nominations. Not quite as many as Succession for sure, or Squid Game, but it's in the mix where I think it belongs, and that made me happy. And then I really enjoyed Abbott Elementary. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, you didn't.
Uh,
Can you read the comedy
oh,
category?
sure, yeah. The comedy series was Abbott Elementary, Barry, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Hacks, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Only Murders in the Building, Ted Lasso, and What We Do in the Shadows. So I really like. I mean, I think you know Curb is probably a better show, but Abbott Elementary was just really caught me off guard as it being like a network comedy, and I thought it was really funny and sweet, and it got nominated. A bunch of the actors and actresses got nominated who were all really outstanding, and so I was happy to see that, and I think it's doing. It seemed like it did pretty well in terms of viewership.
Oh yeah,
Um,
they just gave it a second season order that's going to be like 22 episodes, I
yeah,
think.
so I think it's doing okay, but I still think there's probably room for it to grow, and hopefully people check it out.
Yeah, and I
So
mean,
yeah,
like the comedies you mentioned there are all really solid. I mean, like from the ones that I've seen, like I've seen one season of Barry. I've seen like 2 seasons of What We Do in the Shadows. It's like eh, not like individual seasons are kind of hard to like really cipher out for comedies, I guess. So
yeah.
if you generally like the show, I imagine there's not too much between the seasons and quality wise. I mean, like that might be ludicrous to say for someone who likes Seinfeld, and like maybe Seinfeld season 4 is head and tails above the other seasons. I
Did
don't
you
know.
pick four just randomly, or do you know that that's like known as the best season of Seinfeld?
I kind of did my research when I like back in the DVD era. Like I was
Okay.
buying like seasons of
Yeah, yeah,
television, and they were like, "Oh, this one has like the most iconic episodes or something." And I was like, "Oh, all right, then I'll
yeah,
buy this
yeah.
one to get a smattering of that show."
That's generally regarded as the best season of Seinfeld. It's the one where they do the running storyline of the whole season is like they're going to make the show of Seinfeld on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And there's lots of very famous episodes. I thought it was kind of interesting. I'm just looking at like this list of nominees now, and for comedy series like Barry, it says HBO, Curb Your Enthusiasm, HBO, and then Hacks, HBO Max. So I guess they sort of delineate like whether something belongs to HBO or HBO Max.
Right. I think I saw people talking about that, and it's funny because like his Hacks is not a show that like shows up on the linear channel. It only shows
Right.
up on HBO Max.
But there's some obviously some other streamers in here with Amazon, Hulu, and Apple getting represented. So I mean, overall, I think there's no like big. I mean, from at least the limited amount of TV I watch, like I haven't seen a lot of these shows, but it doesn't seem like there's too many like stinkers in the mix
Right. No,
like
I
there
don't think
used to
so
be.
either.
And
Yeah.
that's I guess a product of there just being so many more shows. But yeah, so that was cool. What else is going on news wise? What's TV Too High subreddit?
So I guess this guy who works for the Washington Post, or that's what I believe, he has a Twitter account, and it came across my feed of like there's this subreddit that exists on Reddit, um, where people just post stills of rooms that have the
I
TVs
see.
placed too high in those rooms, and then they laugh and just
Some of
like
these
say
are
like
egregious.
how ridiculous it is that the TV is so high in the room.
Oh
And
my
I'm
god,
like,
the ones on the ceiling. That's bananas.
right, I know. And I'm like, this is like a very niche audience, like kind of laugh thing, but I definitely got a chuckle out of it and thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. No, that's pretty funny. I had a coworker of mine when I worked at a magazine earlier in my career, and he did what was it? Tumblr? Was that the site at the time? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was yeah. And he had this Tumblr that went like super viral, which was selfies at funerals. And it was just all pictures of people taking selfies at funerals and tags like, "Oh, R.I.P. Grandma" and like duck face, you know. Um, and he's like, I kind of want to like shut this down or whatever. And that was, I don't know if you remember this, but at Nelson Mandela's like big like service in South Africa, like Obama was there, and he was there with Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany, and they like took a selfie, and then he just posted this. He's like, I think we're gonna retire this now.
It's like, this is done now.
Yeah, it's like we're not topping this one. So it reminds me of this a little bit, like, you know, it's a great like super duper niche content idea that like takes like no thought, but it's very fun just like perusing it as we talk, and it's very very fun. We just and it's funny too because we just bought a new like TV stand yesterday and assembled it and put it up, and like our TV is now like it's not too high. I promise you, it's not too high, but it's like probably 6 to 8 inches higher than it used to be, which was quite low, and like it's a little bit jarring. So I was like also hitting close to home.
Yeah, I could see that. But like,
Yeah,
no, there's some that are really silly. Like, you know, when you see the rooms where it like had like the 17-inch television and it's like touching the ceiling.
yeah. And there's one that's like over a fish tank or something like that. I'm just like, oh, that's a bad idea. No, that's fun. That's good stuff. And then Justice League bots.
I didn't read the full story. I was hoping by me putting it here you would, but that
Sorry,
that probably won't be what happens.
you
But
should
John,
know how that was gonna work. We've been doing this long enough.
yeah, but anyways, this story is about like how I guess Rolling Stone did an article where they were like, oh, there were bots made for people who wanted Justice League back and the Zack Snyder thing, and they thought it was like a big reveal that they did this expose and found that out. I mean, obviously it was some kind of bots, but from what I gathered online is like the more interesting thing is like Zack Snyder was like using um the momentum from these obviously these bots to get his creative wishes from Warner Brothers and to get that Justice League supercut completed. And yeah, I guess that's an interesting story if you want to check that out. It's in Rolling Stone.
Yeah, I am definitely curious to read this. I don't want to like say too much about just like my thoughts on it until I get a chance to read it, because I'm guessing it sounds like it could be a little bit ugly because everything with that was pretty ugly in a whole bunch of different ways. Um, the only thing I can say is that I think, you know, because we talked about it on the podcast, like I actually thought the Snyder Cut was like a dramatic improvement over the original
Right.
movie, and actually like passable. So I don't know if that's going to hold up in the wake of some of this what sounds like and looks like could be pretty toxic behavior, but I mean everything about that I think was pretty toxic. So what's some more feature stories in magazines?
Yeah, and we'll be talking a little bit about San Diego Comic-Con, which is finishing up um, probably as we speak. I think only runs through the weekend, and that there was a DC panel, and I think there was like rumors online started by Deadline or something that uh, Henry Cavill was going to show up, and they were going to announce like Man of Steel 2,
Oh
and like everyone on, well, not quote everyone online was upset that he didn't show up. It
God.
didn't happen.
That doesn't seem realistic to me. I don't know where that came from, but I don't think that that's going to happen. I'd be very surprised. But I guess weirder things have happened. You made the switch. Let's transition. We can talk a little bit about fall movie stuff. And since we're on the subject of Comic Con, I guess probably the biggest movie of the fall. And I want to hear more about like what's going on at Comic Con in general, but the biggest movie of the fall, I think, has to be Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Is it Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever or just Wakanda Forever?
I think it's just Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
That's what I thought too. And they had a trailer that came out. So can you tell us a little bit about that movie and the trailer and the reception, and then maybe we can open that up to like other Comic Con stuff, especially as it pertains to the fall.
All right, yeah, sure. So, uh, yeah, Marvel's presentation was anticipated. Obviously, they teased out projects until the end of 2025, including two new Avengers movies.
Ugh.
Uh, but they uh showed off some footage from some of their movies that are either editing or in the can, and that includes Wakanda Forever, which is supposed to come out in November 11th of this year. And you know, the idea of the movie, and certainly the feeling you get from the footage, is that uh, it's was difficult for them to make this sequel, not just because of the absence of their star, Chadwick Boseman, due to his illness and death, but certainly how to like even move this franchise and this group of people in a interesting direction. It's certainly a humongous endeavor, no matter how talented director Ryan Coogler is. Um, from the footage, it looks like maybe they're targeting it to be like more of an ensemble piece and like really strike home that maybe uh, the idea of Black Panther wasn't just one person, but maybe this whole unity of Wakanda. And certainly, I think that is a fine way to go with this material. They kind of showed a new nemesis. I guess he's known in the MCU as Namor, and he's like this underwater kind of mutant who he's kind of like Aquaman, right? And he oversees like this group of blue people, which is kind of ironic having a movie that has like Avatar looking like people a month before Avatar comes out. Especially if you're Disney and you own both these things. Um, but yeah, and the trailer ends and they kind of tease that there is someone in the Black Panther suit, but they're not ready to reveal who exactly is going to um, become Black Panther in this new movie. Uh, I think what I love, especially about Black Panther One, because I rewatched it last night after watching the trailer, uh, is just the art style and the costume design, the cinematography. The cinematographer's going to change this time because I guess the woman who was responsible is directing her own feature, so someone else is on board. But I just think it looks more visually interesting than maybe like 2 dozen of these. I still am pretty hopeful that it will be entertaining. I don't know if it can ever match the groundbreakingness of the first one,
Hmm.
um, but I hope that it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's good too. It certainly has been like one of the, most troubled, I guess you could say, like major studio projects in a really long time. Obviously, nothing is gonna, um, you know, uh, change like what happened with Chadwick and how sad that was, and I think it's gonna be hard for a lot of people to. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, everybody's gonna go see this movie, but it's gonna be hard for a lot of people who like really fell in love with that character and his performance and everything, to sort of be in a theater and trying to with what they're doing now. And then you obviously had all the stuff with the actress who plays Shuri, and she's anti-vaxxer, and I think creating a lot of havoc on set. I think she also got injured, and then there was just all sorts of problems with that. So I mean, that just seemed like it was a whole mess. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, what they end up sort of doing with it. I mean, Ryan Coogler is a really, really talented filmmaker. And I think that he can pull it off. I'm sure he's been given sort of a pretty long leash to try to figure all this out, but it's a very valuable property even within this universe. And it's hard to imagine that they don't have this character or this set of characters mapped out into infinity. So how he can kind of bring that back into sort of something compelling on its own is going to be a challenge. But of all the Marvel regulars, I guess, as in terms of filmmakers, like he's probably most up to the task.
Yeah, right. And we won't talk about it much because I briefly talked about it in the newsletter, and I didn't love the movie, but you would think like Taika Waititi would be another one of those guys that people would look forward to his work, and the new Thor wasn't really up to snuff. And
some people do.
We'll see. I hope this this Black Panther movie is pretty good.
Yeah, I hope so too. And that's coming out, I believe, in November.
Right, I said November 11th.
November 11th. Beautiful, yeah. So I'm just looking at sort of the other big Comic-Con items. And what sort of like, I don't know, what jumps out at you?
Oh, well, I watched a lot of the stuff, and I guess I'll take the reins a little from John to help him.
Well, I'm looking at all the Marvel stuff, and we already talked. I mean, you talked about some of that, and some of this stuff was known. You mentioned that there's going to be new Avengers movies. That feels like probably the biggest deal out of everything. Just because,
Fantastic Four that they're excited about.
But we knew that. Like, I think having 2 Avengers titles on the calendar is like pretty huge. I mean, it's good. There's ostensibly following up the biggest movie of all time.
Yeah, they've already said the Russo brothers are not involved of the 2 new Avengers movies. So
okay, they got their Netflix bag.
Yeah.
So they already got Disney, and now they're collecting from Netflix before that's going to be impossible. And coming to an Amazon Prime near you in 2 years will be the next Russo brothers project, I'm sure.
Right. No, I've some of the other big stuff at the actual Comic-Con event. There was they showed more footage from some DC properties like Shazam 2. I was a fan of the first Shazam.
Black Adam.
Yeah, Black Adam. I think that's going to be a humongous movie.
Yeah, I do too.
Any movie with Dwayne Johnson is already big, but you throw in like DC Comics behind it, and I think it's going to do bank. Other than that, like there was a lot of like TV news too, John. Like they did an extended trailer for that Lord of the Rings Rings of Power series, and that looks really good.
Yeah,
it should look good considering how much Amazon.
Oh my god, on it. I know.
Looking forward to seeing that. HBO has been showing some House of Dragons, Game of Thrones prequel.
That's coming out in a month.
Yeah, at the end of August. So that's another biggie. A comic book series that like is being adapted for Netflix that I wasn't too familiar with, but knew there was a lot of hype for is this show called Sandman, and it's based on a comic or novel by Neil Gaiman, and that's come out on Netflix in early August. There's a trailer for that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds all right. What about any Star Wars stuff, or is that just totally like
that might be D23?
Oh, okay, that's the Disney version of this.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Because it seems like Marvel like was able to share like a lot of this is our plans, but they didn't really share like too much of like the casting of a lot of those things and characters, and they might be saving that for.
Okay, that makes sense. I see Harvey Keitel is returning to the National Treasure franchise.
Yes, he is.
That's really big news.
Is it?
I don't know.
I never saw any of the National Treasure movies.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay. No. Let's do an episode on those. They're so much fun.
Okay, we just did a Nick Cage like episode, but you want to do National Treasure? Okay.
Yeah, well, someday. We don't have to do it next time. Okay, cool. So that's I guess that's like the well. What are some of the other big like fall movies that are going to be like blockbusters? Are like any that like jump out?
I mean, we talked about Avatar. That will certainly be
Yeah, I was gonna
humongous.
say like, does Avatar count or is December like not fall? I assume fall is like rest of the year, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
From like September through December. Yeah, okay. So just making sure we're on the same definitions there.
Oh yeah, we're on the same page.
But Avatar, you know, is gonna trail. I think just maybe Black Panther in terms of box office.
Yeah, if only because Avatar will only be out for a week or two before the end of the year.
Well, right. Fair enough. I just mean in the scope of it. I would guess that Black Panther is going to make more money than Avatar.
Is that
In,
your gentleman's bet right now?
I mean, if you want to take me up on it, then we can do it. Yeah.
All right, I'll do a gentleman's bet.
Oh, okay. So it's Black Panther versus Avatar.
Yeah,
Most domestic box office.
by the end of their runs.
Yeah, by the time they're out of theaters.
Okay.
Okay, cool. That's well, we'll have to come up with stakes, but no problem.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm excited for that now. I'm just gonna be buying my Wakanda tickets, spiking that number before December rolls around. But yeah, Black Adam comes out in October, so that'll be a big one.
John,
Um,
I didn't tell you. I have a ringer on this because like I went to go see like a matinee of Elvis, and there
uh-huh,
were these old people in front of me. And every
uh-huh.
trailer that came on, they were like, "I don't want to see this," or "It's awful." And then Avatar came on, they're like, "Yeah, I want to see that."
Oh,
So,
so you think the olds are gonna come out and save you?
oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know my dad will be super. He probably doesn't know there's an Avatar coming out, but when he sees the trailer, he's be like, "Oh my god, let's go back to Pandora."
Yeah, in this case, Pandora will be the movie theater for a lot of people.
That'll be fun. I'm excited for that movie too. Hocus Pocus 2.
No, why you even bring that up? That's Disney Plus exclusive.
Does that not make it a movie?
Debatable. Did you know
Well,
that?
we talk
Did,
about Netflix having stuff coming out, right?
John, but I have a story about this one.
Okay.
So Hocus Pocus 2 was actually filmed in Rhode Island,
Oh yeah,
and
I think you told me.
they had like a casting call for like extras, and
Oh,
we tried to submit, but we were never
oh,
called.
that would have been so fun.
Yeah, it would have been.
You could have told us all about it, I guess.
um,
Um, yeah,
but
that's gonna be a thing.
yeah, yeah, Hocus Pocus 2. Maybe it would be a big movie for some people. John, I was thinking more like Don't Worry, Darling.
Okay, so now we're talking. Let's do like a Harry Styles conversation.
Sure.
But yeah, no, this is like a pretty anticipated, highly anticipated movie. It does star Harry Styles, but also stars Florence Pugh, who we love, and it is the I think second directorial effort from Olivia Wilde, right after Booksmart.
Yeah.
So we loved Booksmart.
Right. I've only watched the first trailer for this because like John, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to say like I know that I want to see this movie, so why do I need to watch like 100 things on it?
I think that's good. I think that's I'm there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a second trailer out now, which I haven't bothered to see. If it comes across my eyes when I go to see Nope or something, then maybe I'll watch it. But
There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah.
no, I could close my eyes.
Oh yeah, you could. I think that if I see it in the theater, then I see it in the theater. But I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like actively seek it out the way I used to. I think.
Right. Yeah, so from the looks of it, it looks like Florence Pugh and Harry Styles as a married couple enter this town that's like kind of Stepford Wives esque, uh, kind of cultish. People say it kind of reminds them of Midsummer because Florence Pugh was in both, and basically
Right.
she feels like there's something odd about this town, and it co-stars Olivia Wilde and Chris Pine. Um, and I guess she finds that she kind of wants out of this box. And some people also compare it to like something like Truman Show, the Jim Carrey movie. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I was a big fan of Booksmart, anyways. I thought it was a hilarious comedy. Um, it hit a lot of great notes for me, and
Yeah, I really loved Booksmart too. So Harry Styles is going to be in this movie, but he has another movie coming out this fall. I guess he's like transitioning to being an actor now. He was in Dunkirk. Has he been in other stuff?
I don't really think so. I think like this is like
I don't think so
his two
either.
big roles.
So his other movie is called My Policeman,
And this one's been
and it's
confirmed
directed by
already
somebody.
to play at TIFF.
Yes, yeah, directed by Michael Grandage. And yeah, it is. I think going to be a period piece, and it's going to be playing at TIFF. No word if it's going to play any festivals before TIFF.
No, it says the world
Certainly
premiere.
seems
So
possible. Oh, it's a world premiere. Okay, okay,
yeah,
cool. Um, so yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of him this fall, I suppose.
yeah.
Maybe.
My policeman. It seems like I think if it's more of a romance story. I think like uh, a love triangle or something or another, and um, I'm not sure if Harry Styles plays a gay man or a bisexual man, but he has an affair with a man in this movie, I
And
guess.
it's
And
yeah, I think it's a period piece, and there's going to be some, you know, homosexuality was illegal
you're
in
right.
England at the time, so it's going to be, I think, jumping back and forth from past to present, perhaps, um, but yeah, so that's his other big movie. I didn't think that we'd be talking about two Harry Styles movies, but that's going to be the fall of 2022. So I suppose we should get used to it. So that's on the TIFF list, and then a handful of other movies on the TIFF list that we should probably talk about. I can't remember if I brought this up at the beginning of the year. It was, if it wasn't on my like most anticipated of the year list, then it was an honorable mention. But The Woman King, and this is starring Viola Davis, and it's directed by Gina Prince Bythewood, who did Love and Basketball and Beyond the Lights. And it is like a historical, epic kind of action movie about an all woman uh, tribe of warriors in Africa in the 18th century. And I just think it sounds so cool. And she's just like uh, Gina Prince Bythewood. Like, what was the last movie? The Old Guard with Charlize Theron that was on Netflix. Like, I think if you give her a budget, she can really like make it all show up on screen. And I'm really excited to see this.
Yeah, they had a trailer for that one come out.
Okay, how did it look?
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
It kind of gives off some of the warrior vibes from Black Panther.
yeah,
But
I understand. I could see that. But I think it'll be cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to see Viola Davis really kind of like sink her teeth into a movie like this. You know, we've seen her do a lot of like historical dramas and things, and I guess this is going to be a historical drama in a way, but I think she's going to be doing things that we don't tend to see her do on screen. So I'm excited for that.
yeah, I think that comes out like September 16th, anyways.
It does, yeah. So a little bit sooner than some of these other movies. What else at TIFF that you're excited about?
I know I texted you right away that they announced that the new Steven Spielberg is go world premiere at TIFF. That's the
Right, that's the
Fabelmans.
Fabelmans.
Yeah, and I wonder. We kind of joked. We hope it's not Spielberg's Belfast Roma type thing,
I mean,
or
please.
his Armageddon time. Uh, it seems like all these directors are making their life story passion projects. Did you see Hand of God? That's another one.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's Pablo. What's his name? He did The Great Beauty.
Oh, the Italian director. I thought you were going to say the Chilean one.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember his name.
Oh.
Oh, Paolo Sorrentino.
making their like life stories. Hopefully this one is good.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so too. I don't know. It's not like the Spielberg movie that like I'm flipping out for, but you know, I'll certainly see it. And then
Yeah,
Glass Onion, Knives Out Mystery is also going to do a TIFF premiere.
yeah, it's world premiering there too. That was the first one they announced, and
So
yeah,
that'll be
I'm
fun.
excited for another Knives Out.
This was the let's give Ryan Johnson something like 250 million to make a couple of these for us, right?
Yeah, Netflix. Yeah, at the time.
Yeah. So get yours, Ryan. I'm excited. Cool. Okay, so that's. I mean, we don't know too much about TIFF yet. That was like a
Yeah,
teaser of an announcement.
they've been like dropping them like one a day, and on odd days because it's a weird strategy because I just want them to drop like a slate.
I know
I
that's what
know.
they used to. They used to have a big like splashy video and everything.
Yeah, I think we're recording this on the 24th, and I think by like Wednesday, I think Venice is gonna officially announce their slate. We have a article from Variety that was published a few days ago that it sounds like this is all pretty good predictions of what will show up in Venice, anyways.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So then there's a few Venice movies that we kind of know about too, right?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Like, you have that they think that Todd Field's Tar is
Right.
going to be in Venice of Kate Blanchett. The the
That was
Twitter
definitely
account,
on my most anticipated of the year list.
yeah, the Twitter account for that was like trailer next week or something like that. So this week
Yay.
we'll see the trailer for that. Good chance that Andrew Dominic's Blonde finally comes out this
Oh,
year after
also
being
yay.
delayed.
Yeah, big time excited for that.
Delayed a year.
Um, Delayed a while. Yeah, Netflix I think is terrified of this movie. So yay, yay, yay. Um, and then the other White Noise is the Noah Baumbach movie with Greta Gerwig and Adam Driver. And I think it's gonna be more of like a thriller than I mean, at least the book was, unless he's like really radically reinterpreting it. And Luca Guadagnino, Bones and All, with Timothy Chalamet, Taylor Russell, as cannibal lovers on a road trip across America in the 1980s.
Yeah, he's not making that because Army Hammer.
Oh yeah, right. Uh, and what else? Felt like there was a whole bunch of things in here.
Inarritu
New
has a new
Paul
film.
Schrader movie. Mass Inarritu has a new movie. I'm not a huge Inarritu fan, but
All
that's
right.
fine. Uh, I'm sure other people will be a lot more excited for that one. Um, yeah, I mean, you know, this is a lot of stuff that because Venice comes first. You know, I think some of these movies will trickle down to the other festivals. Telluride, obviously, is the other big one that I've kind of been tiptoeing around. We don't really know anything about and won't until the festival is here. But you can kind of read tea leaves as like these movies get announced and what festivals are what studios are releasing them and so on and so forth. Um, so I mean, there's a lot of like promising stuff. I don't know how much of it. You know, some of it might end up getting pushed into 2023. That tends to happen. But some of these big things that we're like starting to hear about now is the studios kind of girding for the fall movie season.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it feels like everyone is gearing up at least within the next 2 weeks, starting to drop stuff.
Yeah, so it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, August is going to be pretty muted as it always is, and then September. I mean, some of the movies we talked about that we're excited about are coming out, have September release dates. Plus, you're going to get the festivals like taking place over that period of time from early September to mid to late September, and so we'll kind of like learn about what's coming and what's really good and what's maybe not, and start
Right, and I
making
mean
our plans
we
for the
we didn't
fall.
we didn't even mention like Killers of the Flower Moon because it's like it's going to be in there, but we don't know
Right.
when it's going to come and what have you.
Now I know you've gone to TIFF in past years. Is that something that's in the cards for you this year?
I have submitted to try to go.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I was just curious if that was coming or not. And obviously, we hope that things will work out there, and you can give us some nice, fresh, on the ground
Yeah,
shoe leather reporting.
if not, our good friend Marshall is heading to Venice again. He told me so.
Oh, nice.
I could have him. I could maybe arrange for him to come back if Tiff falls through.
Cool. All right. Well, very exciting. So that's, I guess, a teaser for a fall movie preview. It's just a little bit of stuff we know about, and I think we'll leave some more previews for later in the year when we kind of have a better picture of what this sort of fall season's actually going to look like. But we can do what we've been watching. But before we do that, we'll let you know how you can follow us. Our podcast is on Twitter at It's the Pick Pod, and Max, you're at
MH Colville.
And you can also like our podcast on Facebook. Just search for It's the Pictures. You can also search for It's the Pictures on Apple Podcasts or any other podcatching app. While you're there, please leave us 5 stars. It'll help other people discover and enjoy the show. You can send us an email at itspictures@gmail.com with your, I guess, maybe most anticipated fall movies, or let us know if your TV is too high, or how many nominations you think White Lotus actually should have gotten at the Emmys, whatever's on your mind. You can also subscribe to the newsletter, itsapictures.substack.com. And Max, you already teased sort of what you've been writing about lately, but what's coming up?
Yeah, so I did some articles recently for Paste. I've been having some work there, thankfully, and an anime movie, The Deer Hunt. I think The Deer King. I reviewed it was an animated movie. That was pretty fine. I haven't been writing too much otherwise because of this illness, but I did send out a newsletter with quick thoughts on Elvis, the new Baz Luhrmann. It has a fantastic performance of Austin Butler as the lead, but too bad Tom Hanks is in that movie too. I guess after that, I think I wrote a little bit about Thor, and yeah, you can read all about that on the newsletter. I think soon in the next week, I'll be doing a review of the new 4K of one of the movies I'm about to talk about, John.
Oh, okay. Well, that's exciting. Um, Before I let you do that, I also have to mention that you can follow us on Letterboxd. Just search for It's a Picture there, and you can see what we've been watching. And Max, what have you been watching?
Yeah, so before we started recording today, I put on the new 4K of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's coming out this Tuesday from Akino Lorber, and you know, Eternal Sunshine isn't a looker as far as like a movie that demands the 4K format, but the colors are certainly popping off the screen. Wherever Kate Winslet's Clementine is changing her hair color, you can certainly get all those colors in there. This is one of my favorite movies, Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've gone over it many times before or just John, like I said, I was watching like even the first like half an hour of it before we jumped on, and it just has so many layers that even if you've seen it as many times as I do have, you still see new things or
Yeah.
um it's a new puzzle to figure out. And it's funny because it has a spectacular cast. So Kate Winslet, Jim Carrey, Mark Ruffalo, Kirsten Dunst, Elijah Wood. It's just on and on and on. But yeah, I think it just hits a lot of great notes. It's a really clever movie. Um, I think this, if you have a 4K setup, there's no better time to see it than this new 4K release. And John, I might talk about it in the scope of this, but apparently they, as in Sight and Sound, were sending out emails to people to make their new top 10 lists for the best films of all time. I guess they update their list every 10 years.
Oh my word.
And I was thinking, like, certainly what my 10 would be, and I think the Eternal Sunshine would definitely be on my 10.
Should we do our 10 sometime as an episode? That'd be fun.
Yeah, we could do a 10 favorite sound and sight list.
Yeah, make up our own version of the list. I think it'd be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because I'd be curious what else is on your list, and I'd love to think about mine. I know I used to like sort of keep track of that, but I feel like you watch something that you love, and it's like, oh, I think I want to slide this in here, and I haven't seen this in 5 years. I forgot if I really love that or not. But that'd be fun. Well, cool. I'm glad that there was a new release that you could check out and enjoy. I have an old DVD of that movie that I haven't fired up in some time, but maybe I'm due for an upgrade myself. What else? You also caught up with the first episode or 2 episodes of The Rehearsal?
Yeah, have you heard of this show?
Yeah,
John?
this is Nathan for you. I can't remember his last name.
Nathan, yeah, Fielder.
Yeah, his new show on HBO.
Yeah, HBO Max.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Okay, so I wasn't familiar with Nathan For You.
Oh, you've never watched Nathan For You?
No, I hadn't.
Oh my god, it is honestly like one of my all-time favorites. It's on my Sight and Sound top 10 favorite TV shows of all time. And I'm gonna text you all the couple episodes you have to watch.
Okay, so it's great because it's now they put it all up on HBO Max.
Okay.
Since they have The Rehearsal up there. So this show is absolutely brilliant, and I guess the first episode, the premise is that he finds this guy who wants to admit a lie that he's kept for 12 years to like one of his closest friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is that Nathan's going to help him rehearse for this moment and practice all the different outcomes that could possibly happen, and maybe what's the best way to tell this confession. And it's absolutely outrageous. The second episode seems to be like what the press image is for the show, because Nathan Fielder has found this woman who isn't quite ready for kids of her own, but she wants to kind of have this idea of what it's like to have kids and have kids all the way through 18. And so for the next like 2 months, I guess, they're going to let her experience a whole age range of like from birth to 18 years old of children and raising them. And just the logistics to pull this off is ridiculous.
They are, as you'll see when you watch Nathan For You, like just sort of shockingly elaborate means to go to sort of make these things happen. And I haven't actually, like I said, seen this new show yet, but I've heard, along the same lines in terms of just like you can't believe that like how far they're going with this stuff.
Yeah, I ended up watching some like Nathan For You stuff, and like one of the ones that stuck out to me, John, was like this one where this guy told him he wanted to sell chili in like a sporting arena, and he had to like put on like make this suit in order to pull it off, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I'm excited to watch that. I'm really excited for you to watch Nathan For You. And let's keep tabs on The Rehearsal as the season goes on, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. How many are there, do you know?
I think there's going to be 6 episodes, and each episode airs Friday night at 11.
Okay, cool. Well, 6 is better than 0, so that's nice. I haven't really watched much. Have you seen Shrill on Hulu?
No.
It's Adie Bryant's show
Oh, all right. I know
from
80
SNL.
Bryant.
Yeah. It's a couple of years old. Like we watched the first season of it, I think when it came out. I want to say like 2019. And then there have been two since, and we never got back around to them. I thought the first season was like good. I didn't love it, but we rewatched it in advance of like watching the next two seasons, and like I enjoyed it more the second time, and the second season I've enjoyed quite a bit. So um, we are almost at the end of that. I'm gonna start season 3 then. I think that's all there is, but it's a pretty good show. I would, definitely recommend to people if they're interested. And if they, think she's a funny personality on SNL or in stand up, then I think they'll enjoy the television show that is, I
John,
think
John, weren't
partially,
you
sort of about her real life experiences. So, yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say two things. I thought you were keeping up with like a
okay.
Criterion project.
I fell off the train, but I did make it further than I did last year. So I was happy about that.
Okay, so we couldn't get
Supposed to
movies
watch
from
one a
that.
week, and I got like 2 months into it.
Okay.
But I only made it like 2 weeks into it last year.
And I thought you appear on another podcast where you're supposed to be watching new movies.
I do, but I was off last month because I was away when we were recording, and we don't record for another 2 weeks, so I still have time to cram. I haven't watched a new movie in like a month.
Wow. It's
I
time.
mean, but there's also like nothing that I actually want to watch. Like, I want to see Nope. I was busy this weekend.
It's time to fire up the Gray Man.
I guess I'm gonna watch it. Like, I have no desire to watch it whatsoever, but like, I'm gonna watch it because I guess I feel like I obligated to see something. It's grim. It's really bumming me out. Like, there's just nothing interesting right now.
Shannon and I watched Fire Island on Hulu.
Yeah, I saw that there too.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, it's fun. It's like gay man Pride and Prejudice.
Okay, that sounds fun actually.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll watch that. All right. Well, I guess that's gonna do it. I'm gonna send you some Nathan for your episodes. And maybe I'll watch The Gray Man. And but regardless, we thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.